Indigo Soul, Starseed Life. Namaste, brothers and sisters. This is Emily here, your Starseed coach and your holistic healer, your student of the universe and your teacher from the universe. Just coming to you live once again. Well, rather live and recorded at the same time. Basically, brothers and sisters, yesterday when me and my friend, a fellow Starseed coach, we did a coaching video. However, sadly, the recorded file, once converting, once the program converted it, I haven't been able to upload it onto any site, and now it's kind of not disappeared, well, it's kind of disappeared basically, and I'm gutted because the information we did was fantastic. I have got it as an audio file so we can listen to it audio wise, but I even can't upload that at the moment. So what I'm going to do is bring through to you the information that I brought through on the coaching video last night so you guys can access it yourselves, because I feel it's so important that we actually open our eyes and expand our awareness to the truth of our own being and our physical being, in as much as our being is not what we've always been told. Our being is so much more. So I'm going to talk to you, brothers and sisters, about DNA. Now, I'm not a scientist. I'm just going to bring through the research and the experiences, etc., that I've had. If there's any light beings, any guides, any angels, archangels, I know you guys are with me because I invoked you before starting this video. Please step forward and show yourselves on the camera. We'd be very grateful. Thank you. So, brothers and sisters, now scientists, basically we have 90% of our DNA. Now DNA looks like two snakes wrapped around a pole and going upwards. It's called a double helix. It's like two snakes going around a pole, okay? Now this is the sign of Archangel Metatron. It's also the sign you'll see on like American ambulances. It's a pole with two snakes going around it. This represents the Kundalini, which is why they use it for health places like hospitals, because it represents health, basically full health, you know. Anyway, so this, so our double helixes. Now we have so many strands of the 32 chromosomes make up our DNA. 32 pairs of chromosomes make up our DNA. I believe it's 12 strands of DNA we have, but there's only so many activated because of the way we live, because we don't do, because most of us don't do spiritual rituals anymore, practices which activates DNA, like meditation, for example. The diet you eat interferes with your DNA, very much so. So many factors, all the factors you can imagine interfere with your DNA. So basically, the path I'm living on, I'm choosing to grow and evolve spiritually, emotionally, mentally. So I am focusing on activating my DNA, and I am focusing on my DNA being reawakened and remembered. Bear with me, please. Let me just go and close this door because it's starting to annoy me now. Thanks, brothers and sisters. The wind was making the door open and close, and I like to have a bit of quiet. Let me just check we're recording still. Yeah, fabulous. Right, so as I was saying, 90% of our junk DNA, or it's called shadow DNA as well, it actually is spiritual DNA. Now what I mean by that is, your DNA, 90% of it, literally, is a cosmic library and a record of each and every single incarnation your soul has ever had since the beginning of you being created. 90% of your DNA, which scientists call junk DNA, is a cosmic chart since the beginning of your creation is recorded and is within your DNA. It is called the Akishic Records. Now, you can access the Akishic Records through meditation, consciously. However, if you are not at a stage where you can actually intend to do that yet, I would suggest you go to someone who's trained in this, as I did, and you would have a reading, an Akishic Record reading. So it will explain to you. I'm going to read my reading to you. I'm not going to read all of the parts about me, because each paragraph goes on and on and on. It's so in depth. It's unreal. It's so in depth. But I'm going to just read what it tells you, and then a little bit about me to give the example, so you can then think about it for your own being. So basically, I have my Akishic Records read by Barbara. She's a friend of mine. She's a fantastic lady, and her webpage is the Self-Healing Mastery. So check it out. Check it out, and if if it interests you, and if you anything like me, and you love esoteric wisdom, and you love to learn about yourself on a deep soul level, if you're ready to know more about yourself from a consciousness level perspective, check out your Akishic Record reading, okay? Anyway, so I had this reading done when I was literally at the stage of awakening, if you like. Rather, I'd remembered not who I was, I'd seen the state of the world. So I'd awakened to the state of the world, yet I hadn't awakened to the truth and depth of me and who I am. So basically, when your reading arrives, this is what it will say. Reading for Emily. Intention. My intention, so what you do, you set an intention before the reading begins, okay? So my intention was just to know any restrictions, blocks, that kind of stuff. Right, so your soul's profile, it tells you about your energy center. Now, your energy center is an energy quality in which you are the most abundant at a soul level. The energy center that Emily is most hooked up to is divine source. My natural source of abundance. My divine gifts are not going to assert themselves by default. It's my responsibility to choose and live out of divine expression. And I have chosen that, and I have surrendered to the universe and to my path of light. And I've chosen light, and I will never go back. I will never ever go back. So that's the first thing it tells you. Obviously it goes on and on. Okay, so the next thing it tells you is your energy center is divine power. As a soul with the energy center, you incarnate to show others how powerful humans are and creators of their experience. Through the use of intuition and manifesting abilities, to access the energy of divine power, expect your free will and choice. You have the power to be and do whatever you want without limitations. So this is explaining what my divine energy power is. So my energy center is, and we all have an energy center with a certain ability tied into it. And it goes on and on, and it's very in depth, that one. So the next one is your soul group. We outline here the group or star system from where your soul originates, so your first incarnation ever. Mine was in a place called Proxium star system. So I'm not from Earth. I'm a StarSeed, and I've not had lives on Earth, or I've had one or two maybe, but I'm very new to Earth. I've spent all my life in space, basically. But it says here, I'm from Proxia. Proxia souls are not very well known group of ET souls. However, they are very blah 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 blah. They thrive on being nurtured by the sun and practicing breatharianism. You're drawn to sunshine. You love to be outside. You need a great deal of light to flourish. This is when I knew this was my reading, because I've always, since I was a child, needed more sun than anybody. And I don't just mean the odd sun here and there. I mean I could survive. I could live in a desert and I would be at the perfect temperature. I really need the sun in my life more than anyone I've ever met, more. And that's because the star system I'm from, we have a very powerful solar system. So basically, the next thing it tells you is your overtone. Now, an overtone to your soul is not your first incarnation, but where you've had many lifetimes. Now me, I've been living in Alpha Centauri many times. I'm from Alpha Centauri as well as Proxia. Now it says you bring in the energy of a natural protector and defender, which is true because I'm a warrior soul. You are very mentally orientated. Why do you think I do coaching and teaching? It's in my D.N.A, literally. With great technical, analytical, problem-solving skills and strong work ethic. You are highly practical with a strong emphasis on functionality. You're very strong and motivated, and you roll up your sleeves and get on with work. You're very protective and you like to provide for all you love. So and it goes on and on and on about my Alpha Centaurian part of me. The next thing it tells you is your soul's vibration. Now this represents your level of self-awareness of yourself as a spiritual being and indicates the dimensional level that you're receiving and inspiration from. Now my level is 5.8. Now I'm not sure what the number status is. Spears of protection, that's the next thing it tells you. Now these are energetic membranes surrounding us, our layers of divine energy. So around our aura we have a thin membrane of protection. And basically, as you're built with 6 spears of protection around you when you're born. But as you go through life living in low vibrational ways, you lose the protection because you're damaging it with your own damage to yourself. So it explains to you how many you have around you. Now you have you're born with 6. So I've got 5.7, so I've still got a lot of protection naturally, and I'm very grateful for that. It explains to you where you receive vital force energy from. Mine is from the God Spark. And my God Spark is connected to my 6th chakra, my 3rd eye, because I have heightened intuitive abilities. I'm highly empathic, intuitive, psychic, and I'm highly clairvoyant and clairsentient as well. Now it tells you white lights. These are multi-dimensional beings who take your prayers and intentions to the universe when you pray or set intentions. So it tells you how many white light beings you have around you helping you, how many you've drawn to you. If you invoke them, they'll come to you to help you. You have 12 spirit guides in a circle. This tells you how many guides you have. And that changes throughout your life. As each choice you take affects your destiny, so it always changes. Your golden web is an energetic field surrounding your energy bodies and keeping you in wholeness and integrity as an energetic being. However, it can be damaged by negative choices, so it tells you about your golden web. Now your soul specializations. Now it tells you about your master of design, biology and botany. Your soul mine has an innate understanding of how energy moves at different levels and how the non-physical and physical planes interact. You're a highly intuitive, understanding empath, and you're very good at understanding anatomy with energy. You are gifted hands-on healer energy worker, and you love all living things. Very true. You may be drawn to work with plants, animals, children. Happened all my life. Our next thing it tells you is the Melchizedek priesthood. Your soul specialization as a Melchizedek priesthood allows you, Emily, to work with healing and blessing energy on behalf of mankind. I bless everyone I meet, I always do. You're a powerful energy worker with great abilities to send healing and blessings to others. You can be drawn to any energy healing. You have a strong connection with the spiritual realm through prayer. You're a very powerful prayer, and this is such a powerful tool for you. So use it often for the betterment of the world, yourself and others, which is true. Because when I pray, light language comes out. And I'm not joking, I get such a rush of energy when I pray. I feel like I'm having an out-of-body experience. It's incredible. It's not like a normal prayer, you know. And Mother Mary prays with her hands open, not closed. Open to receive and to give. So, the next thing it tells you is your job, your astral job. Because when we sleep, we go to the astral plane, we have an astral job. Mine is I'm a dream master. So when I'm sleeping in the physical body, my soul, my consciousness, as a dream master, Emily, your soul is very active during sleep. It visits the astral planes to not only integrate daily experiences and to rejuvenate, but also you visit other people's dreams and you play roles in their dreams. So you wake up having vivid dreams, or you don't sleep much, which is true. trying to work out the next day what the dream meant, but it's never really my dream, so it's hard to differentiate. And let me just get some water, please, guys. My mouth's very dry. It explains that about your astral job. And it explains you're most likely to have a very vivid imagination, but I have to actually make myself imagine, because I stopped using my imagination for many years, but I'm starting to use it again now. However, when I do my spiritual work and I have my visions and prophecies and intuition, all this stuff, I never imagine it. It is shown to me, and it's so clear and so precise. It's like a movie. I don't have to try to imagine it when I have my visions. Now it tells you what kind of soul you are. I'm an explorer soul, surprise, surprise. Explorer souls are very adventurous. Emily feels no fear and bravery to go all where no souls have been before. You love to travel off the beaten path. I'm not into tourist destinations for the reasons they are. I love to explore the villages, the derelict places, the forgotten places, the ancient places, the sacred places. My dream is to go all over the world with mythological sites like the Palace of Athena, places like in ancient Rome and Greece and all that. Well, not Rome, I've been to Rome, but Greece, you know, like the columns and all these kind of places. So I'm an explorer soul. It tells you what kind of soul you are. It tells you your morality. Now, I'm an ethicist. Ethicist has an incredible strong sense of morality, right and wrong. You feel these, yet you use them very deeply. You have an incredible lie detecting skill. Nothing will pass you unnoticed, but you're incapable of lying, very true, or taking shortcuts yourself. You never search for doing things. You always search to do things in the right way and insist that others do it too. It is important for you to disconnect from social morality, because when you're out of balance, you can become convinced your way is the only right way and be quite judgmental. You can do if you're like a moralitist, but it's not in a, oh, I'm better than you way. That's not the judgment it means. What it means is I see others doing things that are not good for humanity, and that hurts me because I think of God. Excuse me, and I think of how God feels, and that's why when I see others doing things of low morality, it hurts for God's sake, not because of my ego's sake, but for God's sake. Now it tells you the next thing is your soul's life lessons. Now, for example, me, I have 10 lessons in this life. Sorry, 11 lessons in this life, and I'm sure the lady said that she hadn't heard of that before, because normally we only have 3 to 4 life lessons per person, but I've chosen 11. No wonder why my journey from baby to 28 years old has been mad, and I've fitted in more than anyone I've ever known. So my primary lesson in this life is self-determination, and then I'm learning about power, like self-empowerment, light-heartedness, gratitude, rewards, abundance, inspiration, compassion, divine love, possibility and humility. These are all my lessons in this life. My soul wanted to experience self-empowerment, so it's going to play, it will play out the feeling of disempowerment, empowering others, which I do in my teaching, and empowering myself. And that makes sense because I've had drug addictions, I've been through all kinds of abuse, I've been through all kinds of bullying, I've experienced so much disempowerment all of my life from myself and others. And now I'm on this path, I'm choosing self-empowerment, sobriety, and a life of love and all of the beautiful things that come with this path. And that is why I love this path, and I'm so grateful for it. I've surrendered to it. I've surrendered to my life's purpose. I've surrendered to God and to the universe, and I will never ever look back. I love being a conscious co-creator, and I love life, and I love, and I love humanity. I love every living being. I'm so in love with every entity alive on this planet. It hurts me when I think of their pain. It hurts. So the next thing it does, basically, brothers and sisters, the lovely Barbara, she does a summary. So she sits with her guides, obviously, connects to her guides, and then she summarises the whole thing. And also she checks if you have any blocks, any chakra blocks, any life blocks, any curses, any ancestral curses. She goes right through all of your lives. Now I think the price is around 150 to 200 UK pounds. I was blessed to get it at a slightly lesser price, and I was very blessed for that, because again, when it's time for you, the universe will provide all you need to know. And I'm very humbled for that opportunity, because I didn't have the money at the time. I really didn't. But this, when I learned about my soul's Akishic Record Reading, when I read this, and then not only did I read that, I had one of my guides channeled and met two of my guides, actually, you know, through vision. And then I went and got my astrological birth chart read as well, because you don't just have one sign, you have 3 signs. And it makes such a difference on your being in day-to-day life. So, brothers and sisters, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you enjoyed that. That was a short summary of my Akishic Record reading. The reading itself, each point I gave to you explains at least 2-3 paragraphs. So you can imagine the in-depthness of the reading. And also after the reading for a week, I had to do a prayer. Can't remember if it's in Latin or not, but it's to do with activating and da-da-da-da-da. So I really hope that's helped. Remember, 90% of your DNA is a cosmic library recording of every thought, life, experience, gift, skill, everything you've ever done in every past life from your very first incarnation. That is what is the junk DNA that scientists call. And you can access it with meditation, regular meditation, and you can access it through wonderful beings who have trained in this field as well. Alright, brothers and sisters, I'm going to leave it with that with you. I love you so much. I'm just going to show you on the camera how much information there is so you can see it for yourself. Right, so this is the bottom, okay? This is the summary. That's how much there is in a summary. Now watch. This is how much you get in an Akishic soul reading. This is all contained within your DNA. And of course, it's accessed by the professional with their guides. And you'll know it's you if the person's genuine. Contact me for details. If you don't remember, I'll tell you them. For my friend, because she is genuine. She's fantastic at what she does. But you'll know it's you because it will resonate with your heart, each and every part of it, so much. It's unbelievable how much it is you. Alright, brothers and sisters, I love you all so much. Thank you for joining me. This is Emily, your Starseed coach and holistic healer from Indigo Soul Starseed, Facebook and YouTube. Reach me on Facebook if you'd like a tarot, fairy or angel realm reading. I can't remember which module I'm on, but I'm doing my diploma and soon I'll be certified in it. But I've been doing it for a year now and I've got lots of lovely reviews from previous clients. So if you'd like a reading, please reach me on my Facebook page and subscribe to my YouTube channel, because I do regular, up-to-date coaching and channeling, anything and everything from spirit. Alright, brothers and sisters, I love you all so much. Enjoy the rest of your week. Tomorrow I get my guitar back and possibly my microphone, so I might be able to do some music this weekend. So excited. Yay! Love you all. Bye. Indigo Soul Starseed Life.